Okay, so this is all theory I'm working on, but so here it is. Here's this cube. So let's say that this thing is in the center of the Earth, like it said on the New Yorker magazine. Saturn is at the center of the Earth. Okay, or a facsimile of it. So let's say here's your pillar here and here's your pillar here. These are poles, and here's the center. All right, this is called a brushless magnetic motor. Okay, this is a negative charge. This is a positive. You don't need anything but that. They're just battery. They're just magnets. But as the magnets grab one, once the motion starts, it doesn't stop. If you add electricity to that, you can increase the voltage to where one is grabbing and one isn't, and that's what spins that around. So this is flipping back and forth, positive, negative, and it causes these magnets to be attracted to one or the other, and then it spins. Well, everything works on the same principle. So theoretically, what if a long time ago we were connected to a system, a real ancient system that somebody corrupted and broke, like I keep telling you? But it works off of this principle, but would have connected us to everything else in the universe. We're just sitting out here dead right now. We're just sitting off here dead. We're directly connected to Saturn, that I can assure you, and the moon is the part that connects us to it. All right. So let's take those poles and let's attach them to something else. The North and South Pole are both covered with ice. That's the only place in the world you find that. So the North Pole is not connected to the South Pole. That isn't just a designation. There's a hexagonal rod, I'm sure, or an elongated cube, if you will. If you were to stretch a cube, it's still a cube that runs the length of this planet, but it's busted. So if you were to take it and draw it, you would draw it with two pillars in a circle. Because if you drew it like this, you'd give it away. See? You'd give away the knowledge. Now this is just something I'm throwing out there, but it makes sense to me. If you were to reconnect it, then we would reconnect to the rest of the universe. In other words, well, here. This is what this signifies. If this was connected all the way, everything here would be working back on the system that it was on the light system. And I don't mean Lucifer light. I mean a totally different dimensional light than what we have now. We don't have to worry about becoming cannibals. We're already that. When we fell away from the original system, that's when we started eating stuff. But we didn't do that before. That's why the Jews say, well, we were in the desert and man and all that. Everybody had that, not just them. It was the way the system worked. If it was working, it would be like this barbershop pole. Okay? But for right now, it's not. You know, for right now, it's basically it's this right here. So it's dead. It's not going anywhere. You know, it really should be like this. But instead, it's like this. So remember that little incident that they had back in, what was it, 2009, when Obama supposedly got the Nobel Peace Prize? Remember that thing called the Norway Spiral? Remember this? That's because this is what they're attempting to do right here, is reconnect those two poles. They're working on the North Pole and they're working on the South Pole. Okay? Operation Ice Cube is in the South Pole, and I forget what's going on up in the North. Okay? I don't know what's on the inside of this planet. There might be some really scary shit, but I'm pretty sure this is the original system that was set in place. Okay? Operation Ice Cube. Okay? The ice has covered it and blocked everything. Hence, they don't want global warming, because I don't know if they're afraid that whoever hijacked this joint, if the poles melt, then those other guys will be hooked back up with the original creator. I don't know. But somebody's really nervous about that being exposed. So let's go back and look at this. This is the Canaanite Moloch bullshit that you always see. So here is where the kids would go in, right? But what is this really? What is this really? It's this. Here's the two pillars. Here's the arch. Here's the cube. Here's the arch. Right? Here it is here. Here it is here. If we put them together, what do you get? You have the pillar here, which is the two arms, and it creates the arch. Here You have the two arms and this underneath here. But what was the purpose of this? Supposedly human beings were the sacrifice. Well, I think we're living, walking, living batteries is what I think. And I think this planet is dying because the poles aren't connected. Okay? Satan falling from the sky could simply be when the crash fell. When the thunder and the crash and the lightning, when we were cut off by whatever broke. Because the light would fall from the sky, because if this was connected, you would have light going from the North Pole and the South Pole. It would be one continuous strand. But it's broke. Let me move on here. This is Sports Central. It's a sports show. What is this thing? What does that look like? Here's another angle of it. Sports Central. What is this? It sure looks like CERN to me. And the colors just happen to meet up with everything that I've been telling you. And why is that? Here's another show called Around the Horn. It's another sports show. Here's the pinion. Here's the movement around the pole, the horn. Here's this dumb fuck. Scumbag sellout. Notice the colors around it. Red, yellow, blue, green. Okay, it's spinning. Green being the most positive, red being the most negative. This is in the spiral. You see it here? Here's the pole right here. See it going around? Let's look here. This is a picture of supposedly the Knights Templar. Here's the cube. They drew it. I didn't. Let's keep moving. Let's go down here. This is from the History Channel talking about Hitler. This is the same thing I've been showing you. It's the same thing. It's always the same thing. This isn't Christian. This is it in motion. Here's the poles. It's in motion. You know, a negative pole going this way, a positive pole going this way, and it's spinning. Here's Jordan Maxwell. Why do you think he's sitting there on two chairs next to each other that are creating the seal of Saturn with a loop around the planet and all of this electrical field? Because he fucking knows. Just like this fucking guy does, Alan Watts. He knows. Why do you think he's got his arms crossed? It's the two poles. We're connected. We're connected, all right. Not the way we're supposed to be. Here's Hitler. Here's the two pillars. Just like the two World Trade Centers. Here. This is energy. That's the thing that I showed you in the beginning. That little guy right there. The thing that spins that's broke. Here it is here. The two pillars. Here's the energy source. But it's not connected. These pillars, one should be going out the top, one should be going out the bottom. That would also give you the visionary outlook of Saturn, just on a smaller scale. Here, people think that means SS. No, it doesn't. That's just the two pillars if you were cocking your head and you were tilting the picture. Here's one pillar here. Here's one pillar here. Do you understand? It's just the way angle that you're looking at it. But you notice it's black and white because the system is broke. This is a very odd picture. There's three pillars and all three of them are energized. You see? That's really odd. Who's running CERN? CERN is Cernus, which is the German god of the underworld. Here's another picture. You notice the energy coming off of this because this is the energy part. The poles aren't connected. They're broke. Here's an old picture. It's the same thing. We know that the wings represent Saturn. We know that. Here they work. You know why sex is so important to these guys? Because it represents the same machine. When a guy's penis goes into the vagina, the woman's vagina is on either side of the penis, which is a complete representation of this. Here's the phallic symbol. Here's the woman genitalia, and together the two of them in a reciprocating motion create what? They create energy, and from the energy they create a kid. That's why. I'm telling you, they're working on hooking up that busted star in the middle of the earth. And that star in the middle of the earth, whatever you want to call it, is Saturn or Satan or whatever. It was involved in the light system. When the light system fell, the system crashed, and we became cannibals because we were no longer hooked up to the rest of creation outside of this earth. That has to be what it is. A barbershop pole is telling you the way things are supposed to work. But somebody broke it because they wanted to, or because they got greedy, or for whatever reason they busted it, and then they were sorry they broke it, and now they're trying to fix it.